Hey everyone, Joshua Hanlon here at Brick Rodeo in Houston, Texas, and today we'll be taking a look at the massive train layout that's on display here at the show. So I'm joined by Ed, who you might recognize from some of our past train layout videos from the show here in Texas. So if you want to give us an overview of what this layout is, and then we'll kind of dive into the details.
All right, yeah, sure. So this is our collaborative lug layouts, Texas Brick Railroad. It's a joint effort by everybody in the club. All our stuff is kind of mixed together, so that's just kind of how we do our layouts. We plan ahead of time, everybody says what they want to bring, and we find a way to put it all together into a layout.
And does this encompass builders from the whole state of Texas, or just like one regional area that gets together?
Yeah, we're statewide. Primarily we're Houston and Austin, but we do have people also in San Antonio and Dallas. But primarily Houston and Austin.
So if anyone's watching and interested, definitely reach out and see if you can maybe participate in the layouts in the future if you're in the area.
Absolutely. We do welcome everybody. Train, city, anything that could somewhat kind of fit with this.
Perfect. Well, let's start with this section right here then. We've got a lot of impressive buildings as well as the trains running around. So where do you want to start here and kind of telling us what's going on?
Okay, yeah, sure. This is our main city. It's a little different. You may recognize some of the buildings if you saw the video from 2019, but we do have a lot of new buildings that weren't here. New builds and things that didn't make it to the last show. So starting out here, well, the biggest thing here, the Avengers Towers. That's Tim Hutchings. That's what he's been building on. This is a 2.0. It's taller, bigger than the previous version.
That's a very impressive build there, yes. Looks like lots of detail inside as well.
Yeah, definitely there's interior on the inside, and it's the tallest thing on our layout. Around the, let's go that way.
We'll head down the street this direction.
Yeah, sure. We got lots of little Easter eggs and stuff. We got like the Mandalorian Abbey Road crossing right there. But yeah, we try to hide little Easter eggs just to make the layout more fun. We've got our kind of main town square. This may look familiar from Austin. We do have some newer buildings up here. Over on the left, there's a dark orange building. We're not quite sure what the function of the building is, but it looks like something you might see in a typical city.
Not everything has to have an exact function. It just looks good sometimes.
Right, sometimes it's just a building. We do have this trolley coming around here. That's a new thing for this year. So this is a powered up trolley. So it runs a single powered-up hub with a train motor and the color sensor. So it's connected by Bluetooth to the iPhone app, where it will automatically stop at the stations and reverse. Hopefully it works. Sometimes it misses the sensor. So that's a new thing that allows us to do point-to-point trolleys. It's entirely purist, though. It's all Lego intended the way that the Lego company wants us to use it. Nothing illegal.
Working flawlessly. Look at that.
Yeah, it's taken all morning.
This tall blue building is also very nice here.
Yeah, that's Steve Jackson's build. It's all bent, kind of brick bending techniques. I think he's got a strip of UV lights on the inside that makes it kind of fluoresce with the trans blue.
I love the kind of angles in this gray building here.
Yeah, that's by Tim Howell. I think we just call it the Angly building. It is inspired by a lot of the ways the real skyscrapers are built with a kind of steel frame and then the curtain walls that just hang off of the frame. And yeah, the angle is nice. It's a little bit departure from the normal grid.
Then obviously throughout the whole layout, you'll see tons of this train track laid down and a variety of trains going around it.
Yes, we do have our trains running. This is, I think, our biggest layout ever. We do use a lot of these third-party, mostly Brick Tracks products with the wider curves, and this year we're able to run the new Brick Tracks wide switches also.
So you're running with a track that isn't like official Lego. It's not something you could pick up in a set.
Right. Primarily the straight tracks are official Lego, but the curves and switches, because our trains are bigger than the set trains, they don't like those tight turns, so they run a lot better on the wider curves.
Gotcha. That makes sense, but it looks fantastic. Here we've got a nice little baseball game going on.
Got a baseball game here. Feature the flashing billboard, and there's little jokes hidden in there. We've got our Batman at bat, for example.
And as we round the corner, it's more of the city here. Some really nice modular type buildings there.
Yeah, thanks. Those are mine. Some of them are newer than others, but it's just modular style buildings.
I love all the flowers in the windows that you've got, and all that. It adds that nice color to those buildings.
Yeah, there's a little variety. Gets a little green in there, a little flash of pink and other colors.
Two very large bridges here as well.
Yes, those are a couple truss bridges that I built. They have been at a few other shows, but they're set up at this kind of modular drop section, a little valley. It's completely modular, so we can change it up for every show.
Okay. Great. We'll see if we can
Get a little closer to it.
Yeah.
The bridges are hinged on one end, so they do lift up. Of course, it's risky when the trains are moving.
But that's how you kind of get in and out of the layout.
Right, that helps us get in and out. Like I say, you just pick them up. They are quite heavy, unfortunately, but it does let us get in and out without having to crawl.
And as we cross that, you come back into a nice green landscape section. What are some of the details over here?
Yeah, so this is one of our two kind of Y sections. So this does show off the use of the Brick Track's wide radius switches. So this allows us to divide the inside loop into two smaller loops or into one big loop, depending on how we set the switches. The geometry on these switches also allows us to do the switches at an angle, which over here on the left side, you'll see one of the examples of that with the switch set at an angle.
Okay, so you were really able to adapt this to create a lot of different layouts than within the larger build area.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of the new products now between Brick Tracks and some of the other manufacturers do allow us some new ways of doing the track that we weren't able to do before.
I like this. We've got the fellowship going over there.
Hey, the hobbits like their ale. They don't know that it comes in pints.
And then some more. You've got a lot of the big trains over there that you can see.
You said Derek here is setting up. He's one of our new members that just joined us in the past year. But he's got some he's got some new diesel engines.
Don't worry, we didn't see that. It's okay.
Yeah, we've got some new diesels, which is nice because Tony and I are mostly steam guys, so.
Add some variety to the layout.
Yeah, a little variety, different colors. The steam engines tend to be black.
So what are some of these buildings down here?
So these are some more of Tim Howells' buildings. We're coming up on his roundhouse here. The turntable is new. It's actually hand cranked, but that's a new thing that we've got for this show.
Even some dinosaurs.
Yeah, again, we like to put little Easter eggs and just kind of humorous scenes in our layout. We've got another derailed train over here.
A little bit of a derail on the track.
Yeah, we seem to be going sideways.
Yes. Do you want to fix that here? We can see how the repair works.
Sure. I'm not sure why it jumped.
Does this kind of thing happen often? You have to keep a pretty close eye on stuff. Just about knocked that one off. Okay, you got to be careful here.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, trains are very high maintenance. At least our trains are very high maintenance. So it usually does require somebody's around here watching them because they can sometimes jump the track, crash into the other train, jump off the table, things like that happens. Let's see. Well,
See if we can get this one running again.
yeah, something seems to be stuck. It may take some time, so we don't have to wait for me to figure this out.
But since it's stopped here, you can point out some of the different train cars and some of what makes this up here.
Yeah, so I'll point out the new stuff. This engine's been around for a few years, so I think people might have seen it already. The nickel plate 765, people might know that engine. They do excursion runs out in the Midwest now. This next one, this is a newer one. This is my Pickle Car. So way back when, they used to transport pickles in big wooden vats full of brine. So that's one of the examples. Next up is my bulkhead flat car. This is kind of a half serious, half silly build. So the flat car itself is based on a Southern Pacific flat car, so it's modeled on one that actually did exist. But my inspiration for building the car was actually when they came out with that Duplo set with the letter blocks, and I thought that would make a nice flat car load. The next up, we got one of the brick model railroader hopper kits. Got this one labeled up as Missouri Pacific, just because that's one of the local railroads here. And then next up, so this is another one of my newer cars. This is a Helium Car. This is used back in the 40s and 50s to transport helium. So one of the jokes on model railroad circles is that this car weighs less when it's loaded. But not actually true. They're actually very heavy cars in real life, but that's a joke. And then the next one is one of our club cars. So a lot of the train lugs have like box cars for their club cars, but we're Texas, so we gotta have oil tankers.
You got to keep it on brand,
Yeah, I gotta make it unique and something for Texas. So this is one of our 2 club car designs, Texas flag design. We are working on a bulk order so we can buy a bunch of these for the club. This is one of the prototypes. And then the last one here, this is another one of the brick model railroader kits with the northeastern style caboose.
I like everything we have happening over here as well. There's quite a lot happening on that train.
Yeah, this is Tim's Rodeo Train, the barbecue to go. And then got his Galveston trolley behind there.
Some oil rigs in the background.
Yeah, pump jacks. Again, keeping with the Texas theme. Unfortunately, they're not motorized yet. That ties in with with Derek's refinery next. That is a new build, as just completed, which is branded as Melton Energy. But we used to get a lot of comments from people coming by, people that work for oil companies or work at the plants and things like that. They're all very happy to see this kind of thing represented.
There's the giant white round building there, which round building isn't something you see a lot, but you can actually get a nice round technique going when you start putting those different small bricks together.
Yeah, those are 1x2 bricks. Just again, a kind of brick bending technique.
And then as we round the corner over here, what do we have back here in this section? It looks like the back of this building is kind of lit up.
Yeah, so this is my Imperial sugar mill. We're here in Sugar Land, Texas. This is actually a local landmark. It still exists a few miles from here. It's in the process. It's not actually a sugar mill anymore, but Imperial Sugar is the reason this place is called Sugar Land. So they used to have a giant mill out here. This is my build for the 2019 Brick World LGMS Collaborative. So this module is a LGMS spec. So the mill itself on the inside of the building, it's not 100% functional. I mean, I don't completely understand how a sugar mill works, but I tried to make it look realistic. I did, have skimming tanks and boilers and things like that. Now this is the back side of the building, but it does show the interior. We'll come around to the front in a moment.
Yep. Should we mention there's another part of the city right here as well before we go around the corner?
Yeah, this is the second half of the city. This is just kind of just a separate section to kind of give the train someplace to go.
You got to have something for people to look at on their train ride.
Yeah, otherwise they just go from the city and back to the city.
And then as we turn around here, we've got some very nice tree landscaping in this area.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things our club do, a lot of trees, different variety of kind of different techniques and a lot of different colors. This is just a lead kind of heading into Tony's station.
What is this made from here?
Those are old Samsonite bricks. That's Matt Saylor's brought that all the way from Florida. I don't know a whole lot about Samsonite besides that it's old stuff.
But still Lego, as you can see on the studs.
Lego, yes, it is still Lego.
So then now we've got a longer, narrow section that leads down to a big building down there. So what does this represent?
Yeah, so this is the yard leading to the Santa Fe Terminal, which is a building in Galveston, is actually the Galveston Railroad Museum now. So this is a kind of condensed version of the actual station. Before we get too far, I want to point out this car here. This was built by Dawn. This is representing Women's Brick Initiative. We had a session with them a few months ago, just trying to talk about trains, how to helping people get into trains. And so one of their members brought a car here to join our layout.
Perfect. Yeah, it's great to see new builders getting involved. And this section does have a lot of wonderful examples of trains on display here.
Yeah, there's a lot of different trains out here. There's a lot of these are representations of actual trains that are at the Galveston Railroad Museum. So you'll recognize Tony's F7 models. There are actually 2 of those at the museum in Galveston. This blue engine is a switcher, which is also out at the museum. They do caboose rides with it's just kind of up and down the yard in Galveston, but that's what these 2 cars are representing.
And then we can walk around the outside of this and kind of move around to the other side of this layout here. Try to avoid the crowds as we go around. There's lots of people excited to check out all your great work here.
Yeah, they put us right in the entrance too, so everybody sees it.
We'll go ahead here real quick. Just move to the other side. There we go. So you see kind of a spot for people to stand.
Yeah, so this is just the platform, which is, now there's a gazebo and there's kind of just a public plaza now. That flat car is also another actual car that's at the museum.
That's really neat that you're representing these things. People then if they visit the museum, they can see the real life versions of what you have on display.
Yeah, Tony's actually set it up at the museum before. So we're hoping, Galveston Railroad Museum does annual shows, so we're hoping to be able to get back in there.
Got a very long series of cars here.
This is Tim Howell's Hogwarts Express. It's fully interior, and I think it's powered in the baggage car. It's quite heavy. This is a Trix Bricks, double switches, and other complex switch.
Looks like a lot going on there.
There is a lot going on there. I'm not sure how Tony got it ballasted, but he got it done.
And we'll go around this corner again. So we saw some of this earlier. You can see some shipping containers, back to some of this nice tree area.
Yep, this Tony's T1 engine here. He's been working with the T1 Foundation or T1 Trust. There's a group that's actually trying to rebuild one of these using the original engineering plans. Then coming around here, we're coming to the front side of the sugar mill. So the big orange building and the silos are actually there. The other stuff is just things that I kind of made up to make the scene make sense, to be more like a functional, production facility.
I love all the lighting you included. It not only helps you see the details, but it really just makes everything pop here.
Yeah, I think pay for Rob's retirement. The lights are from Brick Stuff. So we got them loading the boxcar. There's a sugar packing facility over here. We've got a signal tower to control the switches leading to the complex here, and then a couple old pickup trucks, and then the railroad crossing.
Wow, the lights in the pickup truck and the railroad crossing even.
Yeah. As I said, all brick stuff.
So I know you said this section here you built. When you bring buildings like this to a show, is it all kind of broken down individually and then you just set them all up on the layout?
This module, breaks down in a specific way. The buildings come off and they get packed in the boxes individually. A lot of how we transport the buildings is the buildings are separate. Just depends on, sometimes they are, if they're close to base plate size, they may just sit on the base plate too.
Gotcha. And as we keep going in here, there's some more trains. We see a little different view of the city that we looked at earlier, but then a lot of nice trains stopped along here.
Yeah, it's just more kind of display yard. We can only run a few trains at a time, but but we do want to show off a lot of our other trains, even though we can't run them all at once.
What are some of your favorites and highlights along here?
Well, we got our TBR engine. That's a completely fantasy custom-built engine, but just made to look realistic. So we've built a few copies of those. There's our 2018 commemorative NMRA convention caboose. That was produced by Brick Model Railroader for the Lego display at the NMRA convention in 2018.
That's some Looney Tunes action.
Yeah, that's one of the entries for the TBRR Funny Freight contest. Let me push it a little bit so you can see. Oh, I guess it's supposed to go that way. So yeah, the figures are attached to the wheels so that they chase as the car gets pushed.
I love that functionality within the train.
Yeah, that's by Nate Koski. He's a member of Houston Brick Club. Very, very talented. Does a lot of the mechanical stuff like that with the animated mocks. He's got his display around here somewhere too, a separate, I think a carnival or theme park or something.
The Disney Princess Train, it looks like.
Yeah, it's the Princess Train. I think everybody's seen it at this point, right? The observation coach, the second from the end, that one is a new car. But that's because the carriage on the end holding all the princesses was getting a little crowded, so I had to build another car.
And a little pond there beyond that, and then a gorgeous, like, forested tree area there with so many different colors.
Yeah, that's Tony's forest, and it's an old abandoned shed, and then a burned out farmhouse. I guess the old farmer's ghost now haunts the ruins.
And you've got kind of separate areas within the layout as well that you can kind of work on stuff.
Right. Yeah. I think sometimes it's people have a section that they want to bring. It's not just a single building. Then we can block out certain sections for different things.
What are some of these final sections we've got down here? I think we're about to where we started.
Yeah, sure. So we've got Dinosaur Park. You may see some of the Crazy Bricks dinosaur figures too. We've got 20 of them hidden around the layout. And then we've got the little drive-in theater. That was also at Austin with the iPhone playing the Lego movie, so it's meta.
Then we've got some more of the street, kind of the side area of the street that we started at there.
Yeah, we've really expanded our brick-built streets, and then a couple of the buildings in the back. Those are new. The Coral House, and then a little bubble tea shop next door to it, little glass box type building.
I love that. Yeah, the deli, that bubble tea shop, everything there works so well together.
Yeah. So yeah, this is all different people's builds. Steve Jackson built one. Jeff Schroeder built one. Tim's built one. That's kind of how we do our displays. Everybody's mocks comes together, and it really does make it a lot more than what any one person could do.
Yeah, I think I saw Tony just get this up and running here.
Yeah, so this is Tony's new and improved mini trains, now motorized. We used to have these as a static mock on the layout. But in the past year, he's been able to motorize it and expand it a bit.
I love this. It's like a little ride for people around all these versions of the modular buildings under the cave there.
Yeah. So these types of rides do exist as live steamers. They set up. There's one in the Houston area where they take people on rides on these like quarter scale steam engines or other motorized model locomotives.
So I think that about takes us back to where we started here. Now, we've seen a massive amount of content on display. Do you know how many builders in total were involved?
It's hard to say. I think it's around 7 or 8, okay. But I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate. It's been a long few days.
That's understandable. When you guys are coming to a show like this, what is that planning process like in terms of figuring out how big of each person's section is going to be and how it's all going to connect together?
The primary determinant is just how much space we're given by the venue. Well, in this case, they say we can have as much space as we want. So then we look at how many tables we have, how many people are coming. And then once we usually, the way we plan it is we get a size marked out, and then we start setting up a table. We have some kind of idea, do we want to do 2 loops? Do we want to do 3 or 4 loops? What kind of shape we have, and then it's just it's just like building a mock. You put things together until you get something you like. Now this layout I coordinated, so a lot of it is drawing up track plans and then trying to fit, you get a sense of what people want to bring, and then try to fit that together into a cohesive display.
And I think you all pulled it off very nicely here, and there's so much to look at. You see a lot of the public has been enjoying walking around the display, so thank you for all the time and effort you put into these displays. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for coming to showcase our layout.